SolutionsLLC.com.
1, 2, it's coming for you. 3, 4, you could win much more. 5, 6 on a scratch ticket. 7, 8, it's not too late. The new haunted Jumbo Bucks instant game with a top prize of $75,000. It's a terrifyingly great way to celebrate Halloween. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Just remember to play responsibly. 9, 10, time to play again.
In sport. Hey, you. Yes, you. Stop looking around. I'm on the radio, not in your car. Here's a question. Do you like fun? Of course you like fun. Who doesn't? Fun is, well, fun. So if you love fun, then you'll love the 4 new October instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. They're fun, they're easy, and they have top prizes from $1,000 all the way up to $1 million. Of course, we can't promise you'll win, but we think you'll have fun, which is nice. October instant games, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Just remember to play responsibly.
Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
So your son got home safe last night? Tom said he had a flat tire.
Yeah, he was out past curfew and got stuck on Route 1, but Liberty Mutual went out and took care of it for him.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, a flat, jump, or tow. It's no problem no matter where or when with their roadside assistance.
What was he doing out so late anyway?
Getting himself grounded for a month.
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Optional 24-hour roadside assistance coverage. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty.
Welcome back to Tri-City Sports Now. I am Marky Bilson. Talked to Scott Carter. I want to thank him for joining us. Speaking of athletic administration, and for that matter, at a place that Scott Carter used to work at, and we are also on Facebook Live, by the way. Hear this thing with the microphone going on right there? All right, there it is. Greg Schiano, figure of public scorn in Tennessee, is he not? Anyway, Greg Schiano, this is interesting because there are conflicting reports on how much money, if any at all, Tennessee is going to be paying this man. You probably know the status by now. Greg Schiano was supposed to be the next football coach at UT. He was signed to a memorandum of understanding by John Curry and himself, but it was never signed by the chancellor, the chief financial officer of the university. The document is roughly 3 pages in text. Now, Tennessee is saying, see, we don't owe him any money. The chancellor isn't there. They're trying to say that this is why they want to fire John Curry for cause, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting story by Darren Heitner, who I've reached out and we may be having on the show very shortly. Anyway, Darren Heitner wrote a piece in Forbes that came out here today, and he's a sports agent, by the way. And this is what and he knows legalities and such, therefore. The document, which is roughly 3 pages of text, indicates it constitutes a binding agreement between Coach University and cancels and supersedes all previous existing oral and written agreements between the university and the coach. The final sentence of the MOU reads that until such time as the employment agreement is executed, this MOU shall constitute a binding employment contract between the parties. Paragraph 4 of the MOU deals with the termination without clause by the university. It states the University of Tennessee may, in its sole discretion, terminate the MOU without cause and provide Schiano 75% of the base pay and supplemental pay as stated in the document. The MOU, it was going to get paid $27.7 million to coach the Vols. That was going to go over 6 years. University of Tennessee's position is that the MOU is not binding since it lacks the signatures of the chancellor and the chief financial officers. Tennessee's main challenge is that within the 4 corners of the MOU, it does not make it clear that the chief financial officer's signature on the document is a condition precedent for the MOU to be binding on the parties. So they're trying to say, well, Curry doesn't have authority. However, there are signature lines for key individuals at the university that remain blank. Why include those signature lines in the first place if the individual signatures were not necessary to make the document binding on the parties? The key question is whether Curry's signature is sufficient under law to bind UT to the terms of the MOU. As the AD, one would presume Curry has the ability to bind the university to such a contract, and a court of law may be struck with determining whether university policy on the matter, which may require other signatures, is relevant to the enforceability of the document. Now, I have a feeling this is going to get all settled out of court. I have a feeling Tennessee is not going to be paying the man $27 million, or $27.7. I have a feeling they are going to be paying him a significant chunk of change. That added to whatever they're going to pay Curry. I know they say they're going to try to fire him with cause. I really think it's a good luck in that. I also think that they got to pay, $8 million to Butch Jones. So there's a lot of money. Then again, they made $100 million, $97 million football program alone. So they have the money. Here's the circumstance, though. If Tennessee really fights this, they may have a trouble getting a strong leader as an athletic director in the future. It's one thing to have Phil Fulmer. He's, I love the university, blah, blah, blah. He's also not going to have a tremendous control over the track program. I think he'll let the coaches coach there. That's going to work, okay? However, if and when it comes time for Phil Fulmer to really retire, in a year, in 2 years, then what does it mean if an athletic director is not allowed to act independently at UT or has less power than he would at another school? You may not be getting as good of an athletic director. You may be getting an athletic director and somebody, the case with Phil Fulmer, remember, this is not a man from an athletic administration. This is a man who got his job because he won a national championship at the school 20 years ago. And he really wants to be back. So he will accept less control, if you will. He will say, okay, Phil, we believe you, the football program, that's your baby, take care of it, and rest of us will have the coaches take care of their own programs. This has a chance to really be chaotic down there, especially in the future. And it should concern you. The other thing that could concern you, and I think it's happening now, is that the meddlesomeness of Phil Fulmer. Hey, there's a reason why there wasn't a head coach hired. There was a defensive coordinator hired, a strong one, but not coordinator nevertheless. Coordinators want head coaching jobs, and they will put up with an AD's meddlesome to get that job. An existing head coach will just stay at his job.
1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Previously on The Herd.
Okay.